Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, let me just get notes right here. I don't know what I was doing over there. In this episode, I felt like Gwen reminded me of a cartoon character. Literally. I literally felt like I was watching Looney Tunes for a minute. Because this woman was doing everything in her power to make sure that Xander did not leave. did not leave the hotel. I did kind of find it funny because Xander went out and, she was just worried that he was going to run into Rex and, she was talking about getting the paper and stuff like that, and she was like, why can't you just sit there and read it on the tablet like everyone else? And it just made me sit there and think, whenever I'm at work and I see people coming out to buy newspapers and stuff like that, I'm just like, this is still a thing, right? This big ass giant stack of papers. This is still a thing. Oh, okay, all right. You got a VCR somewhere? Like, what a CD player? What's going on? Anyway, he comes back and she makes up some sort of lie about the trucker guy or the food stamp guy wolf whistling her or something like that, or cat calling her. And, she just does everything in her power to make sure that he doesn't go out because he's hungry. He wants to go get some breakfast or whatever. And she's like, no, you can't leave. Let's order in. Let's do this. Let's do that. And, finally she gets to a point where it's like she literally starts taking off her clothes. I'm like, so we went from, okay, so you're using, like at that point I didn't even know what to say. I was like, so we're using sex just to keep this man inside from having one of your little secrets blow up. If you just would have trusted him and not let Kristen blackmail you, because now at this point, Kristen could sit there and blackmail her with helping her get away. You would think that this woman would learn by now, but so finally she's like, alright, let's go to London. What? And somehow she convinces him to go to London. He's like, alright, let's go. Now you got Kate, Rome, and Rex down there just worried about Kate. And she gets a call from Melinda, so she heads out. Rex and Rome go back to the bar, but Rex forgot something, so he had to go and pick it up. Gwen is looking outside the whole time. Oh, okay. Alright, the coast is clear. So she goes out there thinking, alright, we're almost there. And of course she runs right into Rex, and I laughed my ass off because I was like, for a good 30-something minutes, this is literally what you were trying to do. And it failed. It's like, it failed. This is what happens when you don't tell the truth and you try to lie and scheme and do all this BS. Eventually, it comes to the conclusions like this. Man, I can't wait to see what kind of gymnastics she's going to use to get herself out of this one. Isn't Melinda tired of losing? Listen, I love the character, don't get me wrong. But, like, now she's at a point where she's like, she's looking at Lonnie and Eli, like, alright, well, go arrest them. And they both at the same time was like, no. And they pretty much was like, we don't have enough evidence. We don't have the evidence to sit there and do this. He's gonna walk, he's gonna lawyer up. Like, we want this to be airtight, And of course, Melinda just couldn't help to throw Lonnie's past in her face. Oh, you didn't think about that when you're helping your friend Kristen. Da-da-da-da-da-da. You could have helped your friend Kristen escape this time. Just keep in mind, sweetheart, she escaped under everyone's watch, including yours. Remember when you made a deal to let 4 people go to get Kristen back, and then Kristen escaped anyway. Again, you would sit there and think that, you know, you would get tired of losing, but nope. So Melinda is like, alright, let me call Victor. Victor, I feel bad for Victor. Okay, I was going to sit there and say there's nothing worse, but it's a really terrible feeling when you was saying something awful to someone, you find out something happens, and you're afraid that you can't take it back. You can't make things right. And that's exactly how he felt when he was talking to Maggie. He gets a call from Melinda, so does Kate. They go down there to meet her, and she's like, listen, the case is getting cold. I want to sit there and try to arrest Brady, but you got to legally declare him dead. Just think about it. So she walks out the room. Kate acts like Kate. I get it. Her son is missing, maybe dead, so she's on high emotions. But she practically, manipulates and force Victor to sign the papers, and Victor was like, I'm not ready to do it yet. I'm not ready to declare my son dead. And of course, Kate being Kate is like, oh, this is about Brady. This is about your favorite grandson. I'm like, at one point, I actually had to sit there and just stop it, because I was like, I'm trying to write, and you are just give me like a minute here to finish writing, unpause it. She, continues to, well, at this point, let's be honest, we've been watching the show for a while. She's being Kate. And eventually, she does wind up getting her way. Again, I get it. Her son is missing. She wants Brady to pay. She's at a point where logic is just out the window. Hell, when she was talking to Brady, when she was talking to Rex, she was like, well, I don't... Because she said that she threatened him. Rex was like, are you nuts? If something happens to him, you're going to jail. But she practically was like, I don't care how unlogical I sound. I'm mad, and you're not going to... Her emotions just all over the place. So I partly want to give her a bit of a pass, but I'm also just like, well, you're acting like Kate. So let's just meet somewhere in the middle. But yeah, eventually, gets them to sign the papers, and Victor feels bad, but, he's, I don't know, Kate got to him, let's just put it that way. Meanwhile, you got Brady that, I don't know what he was actually trying to do, because he comes over to Chloe, he's like, oh, well, I've been trying to call you, but you haven't been answering. You wonder why, bro? Really? So, he tells her about, the credit card, about the 6 shots that he supposedly bought, him talking to, even earlier when he was tempted by a drink, because dealing with emotions with her, and basically sitting there telling Maggie that, if only Philip was out the way. I'm like, bro, you're not helping your case. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I know that you said you want to try to be honest with her and be truthful with her and not lie to her. I'm like, you are just making Bella's job that much harder. See, this is exactly why sometimes I'm just like, Brady, you're an idiot. Okay? Because when all this stuff goes to trial, she's going to have to testify against you. So you're going to have to sit there and do something that she doesn't want to do, because for unknown reasons, she still actually cares about him. And now you're going to put her in a position where she has to be forced to tell the truth. Or, risk perjury and go to jail. So, congratulations, Brady. You put the woman that you so-called love, in a situation that you didn't have to do because you want to clear your conscience or whatever crap that you thought was a good idea. It's now just the, because at this point, I was not there thinking of it, trying to think of a joke, but you know what? Brady, that's a joke. This guy decides, I gotta go to the river. Because if I go to the river, then I may remember something. Chloe's like, if you go to the river with the cops there, they're going to think that you're guilty. And of course, you know, the cliche line, you return back to the scene of the crime. And, you know, he gets down there like an idiot, and he starts to remember something about Philip, but he doesn't want to say what it is yet. And of course, you know, Melinda walks up with the cheesy, cringy line of, I see the killer return back to the scene of the crime. Melinda, I really do like you. Why the hell did you have to actually say that? It's like you were thinking it. You didn't need to say... Whatever. Anyway, she arrests him. She takes Eli down there, and Eli arrests him, and that pretty much ends that. So, let's see. You've been out of jail for less than 8 hours, and you've been out of the hospital in less than 8 hours, and you're back in jail after going to work. I actually sat there and I was like, Chloe, part of me was like, why you at work? But then again, I'm like, well, Nicole's also a boss there. She can't really do anything else, so she might as well be at work doing something. So after Kate talks to Roman, because, you know, she's not hungry. She has been hungry all day. She just wants to kind of just sit and just, you know, process her grief. So Roman's like, you know, I'm here if you need me. He leaves. Kate walks into the room and see Philip just standing there like smiling, and I'm like, okay, I don't know which one is worse. Philip, you're going through all this because you think that Chloe is messing around behind your back. You're gonna risk jail time. You're gonna risk jail time at this point to get back at Brady and Chloe. Instead of telling them to both kick rocks, I want nothing to do with either of y'all. Well, of course, this is Philip that we're dealing with, so, yeah. It's funny, too, because there was one point where, you know, Maggie was sent to talking to Victor, and Victor was like, you know, I was down there, and, you know, Kate wanted me to sign the papers, and I'm sitting there writing, ? And he's like, well, heaven help me, I signed the papers. I just took the pen just like... Anyway, I think that's pretty much about it. There I go. So, the Salem Holiday Special. So I'm going to be watching it this weekend after I finish seeing the new Spider-Man movie. And I will be putting out the review on it either Saturday or Sunday. But I'm definitely going to sit there and watch it. And, yeah, put out the review, get my thoughts on the whole thing. You know, it's funny, too, because I was sitting there telling people all day, well, throughout most of the day, I was like, oh, you can just watch it on Peacock, it's for free, and I'm like, alright, you know, let's just go on there, in case I have to sit there and apologize for a lot of people. So I go on Peacock, sit there and be like, alright, cool, I just gotta press X. Wait, it's telling me I gotta pay, okay. Okay, sure. Whatever. So, yeah, if you got Peacock and you watched it, like, you got the subscription, that's great. If you didn't, if I was just a regular, like, not a reviewer, not a content creator, I probably wouldn't pay for it. But since, you know, this is kind of what I do, this is my passion, like, you know what, whatever. It's $5, I can sit there and watch it. It's not another movie. It's gotta push a lot more stuff back, but, I don't know. It's weird. I was not there thinking about all this week. I was like, should I watch it? Should I not watch it? Because I generally don't tend to watch stuff that's, like, not part of the main story. But, I don't know. In this weird way, I'm kind of curious to sit there and see how this movie is. what roles everyone to be in. And I know there was some people that's like, oh, Brady and Ciara's not going to be on it. I'm kind of disappointed. I'm like, well, that's a sign of relief. Obviously, I'm not a fan of them. Anyway, I think that's about it. Thank you for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.